First, let's hear the Sith Lord himself. So I ordered a used Darth Vader costume from Wish.com just for this video, but there's something proper wrong here. So it turns out that Mr. Vader is a Cliff Burton fan as well. Looks like he's pretty hard up though, and the Force was messing with him. Now then, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden rebel base, you bitch. I've also heard a lot of Sting bashing over the years for him not being the nicest of fellas, but I did some thorough research and I didn't find much evidence. We've all been there. Your fingers are too big, your fingers are too small, there's something wrong with the strings, it's the sound man's fault. We'll use any excuse for why we can't nail that incredibly complex bass line. Imagine his knackers. Anyway, what is my favourite bass? I love the growl of a P-bass with some fresh new rounds. Or a Stingray with flats for some smooth, funky sounds. The big ones, the small ones, the downright bizarre. In the streets, in the clubs, in traffic, in the car. While having a beer or having a brew. 6 strings, 5 strings, double necks 2. The short, the long, the ones in between. The ones that are purple, the ones that are green. The cheap, the expensive, the solid, the hollow. The ones that you build and the ones that you borrow. The one that's muted, the one that rings. The one with barbecue sauce on the strings. Changing the gear, having a fidget. The Ricky that makes me look like a midget. Filling the gap or leaving the space. I just love to play bass. You know what I mean? Can Davey504 actually play bass? Back when I was just starting out on YouTube, I loved watching this fella's videos. I remember trying to copy the tone of this one, but all of a sudden, Davey tragically gave up music to become a full-time meme guy. This Metallica bass must be stopped. Alright, I admit, I'm jealous. He's up there at the very top of the YouTube bass world, and I'm here in a silly hat calling Sting a ponce. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Who is this dipstick slating all these very rich and very successful bass players? No, Ringo, you can't have an ham sandwich. Well, before I get there, I just want to say thank you so much for 100,000 subscribers. I haven't let it get to me head.
100,000 subs, 1,000 subs, 100,000 subs.
So this is what it's come to. Former respected musician Danny Sapko becomes social media guy, and now you just want to know about his scalp, voice, and stature. Back in 2005, when all the kids were wearing checkered gloves and listening to stuff like Fall Out Boy, even then I had superb taste, like I do now.
I don't ever listen to Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, me neither, Pete. Am I bald? Balding? Maybe just a hat lover? Well, I'll show you. No reason not to show you. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's only natural. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. Okay. There we go. Thanks very much and see you next time. You've probably heard Steve Harris's Gallop hundreds of times, but just how does he play it? I asked Dave Mustaine to see if he could help.
Steve Harris is...
Yeah, thanks, Dave. The man himself not only uses 2 fingers, but uses the pattern 1, 1, 2, 1 to do the gallop. So this is a Zenta bass, built in Japan in the early 70s, and I love the sound of it. But it's got a problem. A really annoying problem. I asked Dave Mustaine if he could help me with my annoying problem. Watch him become a god. Oh, shut up, Dave. He never has the bloody answer. Good evening. In today's news, crowds gathered to this church in Germany, where an organ is playing a 639-year-long piece of music. The organ changed chord for the first time in 2 years, just losing out on the world record set by Status Quo. So I've just done a YouTube video about bass guitar animation, and while I was searching for clips, I found something that hurt my soul. And you know me, usually I've got skin thicker than a rhino. Even when Davey504 leaves me a comment, but then gets cold feet and deletes it. Don't worry, Davey, love. No need to be afraid of me. You come back anytime you want, I'll be your mate. But this video clip was too much for me.
There's lots of other fun instruments, like bass. Come on, who'd like to be a bass player?
Out of my way, nerdlinger!
My image!
My image?
What the hell now? What the hell now?
Bloody hell.
I got a gal, always late. I got a gal, always late.
Go, 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 go. Everyone in the world has played this bass. Everyone. It's not this. 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 And it's not this. It's this. Does bass face really make you sound better? Bass faces are nothing new, but do seem to have grown alarmingly more grotesque in recent years. Like this. And this. And this. Bloody hell! So, in the name of science, I'm going to conduct a little experiment to see if they actually make a difference. First, I need your help on my quest to become Lord of the YouTube Bass. Can you please hit that subscribe button, as most of you haven't yet? And if you're new here, I think I'm a generally likeable guy. Anyway, on with the experiment. Let me know if you hear a difference in these two clips. And today we're going to try recreate his legendary tone. Oh, hold on. Dave Mustaine wants to make an announcement.
40 double D!
Right, thanks for that, Dave. But this is not just a list of bullshit that I've done in the past. It's a chronicling of my rise to power. Ooh, Danny, is that a big bass or a little guy? Ooh, Danny, what's wrong with your face? Ooh, Danny, why are you wearing a steam train necklace? I'm just f***ing mental. All right, this is Billy Bantam, my studio mascot, and during dry spells, my occasional lover. Hey guys, Tom Quayle here. Let's learn about some legato. You f***ing what? And back then I also had a hairline and a jawline. Things went very quickly south as I entered my teenage years, growing out my hair, drinking cans of bitter in fields, and wearing Sid Barrett t-shirts. Nice. And when I was 16, I finally picked up the bass, and my life changed for the better, obviously. I'm still wearing the same gear now. During those years, I was putting some more light-hearted videos on my Facebook, but thought it would be far too unprofessional to put them on my big YouTube channel.
Turn your fog lights off.
What are you doing in the middle of the road? It was actually in lockdown that I got used to talking on camera. Me and my best mate, synth legend Flash Cassette, made some terrible videos about our local railways. How was your train journey today? Not good, apparently. Hey, Sean. Yep. Sean. Don't stop on the crossing. Let me explain. Oh, I'm just getting word that Dave Mustaine wants to give a fun, light-hearted message for any children watching today.
Without death, life would be meaningless.
Jesus, Dave! In the news this week, this PR stunt for a new strap-lock company didn't go entirely to plan. The owner of this bass threw it immediately in the bin after he found a major problem with it. He was horrified to discover it had 5 strings. Oh, and the pickguard is a tortilla. And here's Dave Mustaine with the weather.
That's what happens when cousins f***.
But he didn't actually call it a bass guitar, it was dubbed an electric bull fiddle. No wonder it didn't bloody sell. Imagine explaining that receipt to the wife. Remarkably, some of the original basses survive to this day, and here's that fella from Happy Gilmore to show you how it sounds.
Yeah, jackass.
You see that speed? And the power. Charles Beartooth don't want to bass battle me. Then let's have it out in the YouTuber boxing arena. Yeah. I bet it turns out he's massive. Or he's like some ex-British Navy boxing champion with golden gloves. Come out and fight me, little bass man. I've got one of these for you, you tiny bastard. Yeah, let's shelve that idea for now. Oh, look, they're letting that old fella get on stage to play some bass. It's nice to see, is that, innit? Isn't that nice to see? Jailhouse rock. Let's give him a clap. Shall we give him a clap? Maybe one day I'll play on thousands of recordings. Or will you just remember me as that guy with the weird voice and dodgy trousers on the internet? So Klaus was of course bassist for the Dead Kennedys, who had a very cool singer, a very cool guitarist, very cool and very excellent drummer, and of course the goofy bassist. Why does that always happen? Hold on, is that him or my reflection? One thing they don't tell you about getting older is accelerated nose hair and ear hair growth. And nose hair trimmers are one of those weird things where the cheaper they are, the better they seem to be. Now, I've used some pretty expensive nose hair trimmers. This was $2.99 from Aldi, and this is the best. All right. Now I'm ready for a big Friday night. One day though. We can all dream, can't we? I'm going to have an Aston Martin DB5 with an ejector seat. Then I'll say, oh, come into me car, Stevie T. Have a seat there. Beep. And I'll go after him like a clay pigeon. That was a bit far. That was too far. That was too far. Magic. Welcome back to the series where you play for questionable bass players to be put under investigation. He's your esteemed host, Detective Inspector Dipstick, and here's his new logo. Speaking of dipsticks, what's Italian for you're starting to push your luck? This is the world record fastest bass player. Imagine a band consisting of the world's fastest double kick drummer, the world's fastest guitarist, and the world's fastest rapper. He needs to work on his luck though.
So let's see, Freddie, the customer situation using number technology when I wrote the calibers just indicated by the presence of pool tape in your community.
Who could they possibly get on the low end to take up even more space? Well, they'd probably want Giant Varma. Giant is the world's fastest bass player. Here he explains his unique four-finger technique.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Look out for this band's upcoming self-titled debut album, The Four Virgins. Incidentally, while searching for the world record fastest bass player, this video caught me out.
About to try to break the world record for the fastest bass player. Here we go.
And it was around this time that Dan invented the bass suit. Bloody hell. This thing cost him $5,000 to build. The knobs are on his sleeve, and the strings are on his waist. I was also a bit worried about where you plug your lead in, but it turns out it was an early wireless unit. Sadly, the bass didn't last long. I don't imagine it was machine washable either. But since there's no video footage, and in loving memory of Dan Hartman, who tragically passed away at age 43, I vow that one day I will build a replica bass suit. I've always thought you can tell a lot about a bass player from what height they hold their axe. The undisputed high bass champion is Mark King, who plays right up there at tit level. How fitting. And then hanging just below, we have what I call virtuoso height. The Victors and the Charlies of the world that we're all a bit jealous of, really. Alright, chill out. Next up is a medium length, your average middle of the road musician, but they're rich and we're not. Now we're getting there. DD inspired many others to downpick right at chopper height. And what I thought was the lowest of the low, Chris Novoselic and Rob Trujillo have it hung like a baboon. That was until I discovered stoner rock. Yep, these lot have it scraping on the bloody floor. Personally, I don't get it, but then again, me and them aren't on the same kind of gear. Oh, and by the way, some of you wanted to know why I had a go at Eric Clapton yesterday. I just think he's a There's no politics on this channel, just childish humour and occasional bass playing. Welcome back to the series where we put questionable bass players under investigation. I would personally like to thank Davey504 for being so inspired by this series. I will steal your video, Danny Sapko, and every day I make £1 million in Italia Telebacala. And you'll be eating the pot noodle. Slap! And that's a spicy meatball. Drummers have always been the stereotypical mad member of the band, but with some clips I've seen recently, could the bass player be the new crazy one? Well, not me, obviously. Rickenbacker! Yep, bass players have always been known as the stand at the back and look miserable guy, and the drummer, not so much. I think he's just seen a spider, but I have a feeling that there's change in the air. Just look at Discount DD Ramone for a start. And she's rich. And she's sexy. Or just off Shakira. I could make 100 videos about the life of Rick James, from nearly being a Charlie Manson victim to nearly being a Charlie Murphy victim. But did you know that Rick James nearly joined Crosby, Stills and Nash? Yeah, Crosby, Stills and Nash is in We pretend we're hippies, but we all love coke and guns. And Rick James is in What did you think I was gonna do? Rick was actually in a band with Neil Young in the mid-60s called the Minor Birds, which is already crazy enough, and he almost landed the Crosby, Stills and Nash bass playing role. Unfortunately for Rick, they went with Greg Reeves instead, but Stephen Stills gave him some medicine to say sorry. Music as we know it could have been very different. I wonder what it would have been like. Super freak out, man. I come on your video, Danny Sapko, on your tiny YouTube channel, and still you want more. You want to sucro my subscriber, eh? How about I give you an Italian salami to sucro, eh? You what? Mamma mia, this is cazzo di Inghilterra. I am the king of the YouTuber base, and you are the dog shit under my shoe. Right, listen, you big dipstick. If you want thousands of miles away and 6'8", I'd come over there and kick your teeth in. Plus, my grandma's from Napoli, and she'd knock your grandma out. This is gonna ruffle some feathers. A big problem with me is that I'm quite shallow-minded sometimes when it comes to music. I'm from a place called Yorkshire, you see. And once we're set in our ways, it's kind of hard to change our minds. And I just don't like jazz. Jazz! Jazz!
Trapped in purgatory!
There's no worse than seeing a live music sign in a pub and you think, oh great, and then a load of old blokes come along and jazz all over your face. When I see musicians with missing fingers or other physical limitations, I'm filled with absolute admiration for them pursuing their passion despite the obvious difficulties they face. But I'm also really bloody annoyed that I don't have an excuse when I'm shit at something. Oh, there's something wrong with the strings. I've never understood acoustic bass guitars. I know what to do with one of these. And I know what to do with one of these. But what am I meant to do with one of these? So I went on the internet to conduct some research, and the first thing that came up was that today, the 30th of April 2024, is the last day to order your bass t-shirts and hoodies before they get printed, which was nice. And then I did a Google search and found some pretty handy information on the acoustic bass guitar, which was nice. And then I did a Bing search and... Geezer Butler! I don't know, I don't speak German. But speaking of sauerkraut, is this my long-lost German cousin?
Maybe don't use the word in America.
Jürgen Klinsmann. Anyway, I found an interesting interview with bassman Michael League on Scott's Bass Lessons. Hey guys, Scott here from Scott's Bass Lessons. Awesome. Buy the course! Yeah, thanks, Scott. I've always thought that double bass players are the most protected on stage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Here's Metallica and Lou Reed's album in full. Not only does it work as a shield, the spike could be pretty handy when dealing with stage invaders. It's getting worse recently. Sweet Caroline. Nora Batty. I know we're all sick of that song, but that's a bit far. Paolo Di Canio. Anyway, you've all been tagging me in a certain video this week that does indeed prove that a double bass can be a deadly weapon. Alright, I'll admit that sometimes I can be a bit old-fashioned and don't like breaking tradition, so the idea of a 14-string guitar bass didn't immediately douse my dipstick.
And we're going to play Alcoholocaust from Nanonucleonic Cyborg Summoning.
Oh, this is a good start. Fog on, leg on. If this video manages to get past the censors, it'll be a miracle. It's getting harder and harder, you know.
It's the Van Show, starring Van.
I'd get my kit off on stage if I didn't look like a strategically shaved Ewok. Piccolo bass. Piccolo bass. What the Phil Tufnell is going on here? Why would you want to make your bass an octave up? So I searched Scott's Bass Lessons to see if he could help.
So that is such an iconic sound. Yeah, right? And they have...
Yeah, thanks for that, lads. Out of Control, Joe Strummer hat, made by Brixton. Grey Beret, because I like the Damned. And Old Faithful, made by Stakowski Hats in Poland. Excellent hat makers. And they give them all really cool names too. Hold on, what's mine called? Fiddler. Bloody hell. I've always thought drummers are like goalkeepers. You'll never meet a sane goalie.
Back to the keeper. Where is the keeper? Where is the goalkeeper?
And every drummer I've ever met has turned out to be absolutely crackers. They seem normal at first and then 4 gigs later. Imagine the bass guitar was never invented and YouTube funk bassists would be forever playing too many notes on one of these. Cannibal Corpse would have been a bit different too. Anyway, so far I'm finding this thing a real bastardo to play. And here's the thing, those videos are going to perform loads better than a well-written melodic bass line. Paul McCartney must be spinning in his grave. Now I hope when you watch my videos, most of you think, this guy's not too bad at playing bass. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I have something called red light fever. And it got so bad that I had to try some other jobs. Professional diver. Professional robber. Oh, bloody hell. And even professional miniature train driver. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced red light fever. I practice what I'm going to play, and I'm pretty happy with how it's sounding. Then when I hit record, I get stiffer than Anthony Kiedis at a Taylor Swift concert. And tense is the last thing you want to be when you're playing your instrument. It didn't really matter to me in this day and age, because I can do 27 takes and you'll never know. But in the days of recording very expensively to tape, I'd be making tea for Carol Kay and James Jameson. Have you ever seen footage of old jazz guys in suits giving their foreheads a wipe? With those collars and ties around your neck, how you meant to play your pipe? And those bands in the 60s must have been crackers, with those tight-fitting garments restricting their knackers. And flashing an ankle could end your career, but the times were a-changing and limbs became freer. A kneecap here, an armpit there, we soon became accustomed to laying it all bare. Whether in your prime or now an old codger, be like the Chili's, show us your todger. You'll play so much better with no shirt on your back. Be like the soap girls, show us your rack. Whether you're chunky or whether you're fit, don't be a prude, removeth thy kit. Whether you're tanned or whether you're pale, air it all out, feel the wind in your sail. And I know I don't strip off when I'm playing my bass, but I filmed this whole video with note below the waist. Ha ha ha! And I first came across it when I saw this bizarre picture, and I hope you lot have some answers for me, because what in the Kentucky Fried F*** is going on here? Is this a little person playing a hybrid double bass with it hanging from a noose in Fred Dibner's garage? I've always thought that tribute bands are quite a strange thing. On one hand, some of them look and sound great, and it costs a fraction of the price, but it can get bad. Really bad. Please welcome on stage, Paperback Shiter.
Just call on me and I'll send it along with the...
All the way from Doncaster, it's the Craxon 5. We hope you enjoyed the bingo. Now here's Blunderstruck. And here's... Bloody hell. Anyway, the whole reason for me posting this is that I did find one pretty good AC/DC tribute. Just check out this heartwarming footage of a lot of old guys in a nursing home acting like they're idols on stage. Now, I've previously said that Carol Kay has played on more songs than anyone else, with around 10,000 to her name. But even Danny Sapko, the font of all bass knowledge, gets things wrong occasionally. And yes, it's true. This fella has played on around 25,000 songs. And if you don't recognise him from this picture, here he is just 2 weeks later, after spending time rehearsing with Phil Collins. Despite looking like a third-rate Father Christmas, Leland Sklar must hold the record for most recorded musician, unless I'm wrong again. Playing with such acts as The Doors, Jackson Browne, Art Garfunkel, Alice Cooper, Donna Summer, and Rod Stewart. And to answer the question on everyone's lips, he last had a shave in 1965. Is that another world record too? Welcome back to the series where we put questionable bass players under investigation. So far we've covered such divisive individuals as Sid Vicious, Nikki Sixx, and Gene Simmons. But for some bizarre reason, my mainly male audience prefers to click on videos featuring sexy bass playing women. So this is Blue the Tiger. I bloody hate 5-string basses, but I had to get one to do some of your tone requests. And it don't like me either. I'm sure I've heard it meowing at me like an angry cat. And the Eagles used one on New Kid in Town, but I can't play that or Don Henley will have me sentenced to death. And the Mothers of Invention used one on their first album, but I can't play that because the guy turned out to be a sex offender. Well, just wait and see. In today's sporting news, German fans were shocked to see Charles Bertu as their new manager.
I knew I didn't have technique as great as Victor Wooten or a tone that sounded as clean as Marcus Miller.
Davey504 makes a surprise career change to playing goal for Belgium.
Before we begin, I have a question for you. Do you like bass?
And Scott from Scott's Bass Lessons seems to be enjoying himself. You told me that this bass tone would be too complicated for my tiny brain. Do you think I've got a screw loose or something? Rickenbacker! I think I went full Rickenbacker then. Never go full Rickenbacker. Whoa! I ain't seen that many knobheads since Millwall last came to Valley Parade. These lot are from over here in Britain. You can say what you like about the British, but thanks to us, countries have Independence Day parties all over the world. And we've also gifted you all with some incredible bass players. Bloody hell. And number 4, stage presence. Don't be afraid to strut your stuff like the 3 world's sexiest bass players, Victoria De Angelis, Blue the Tiger, and Danny Sapko. I finally know what these things really do. I've made loads of different videos on loads of different bases about these things, separating fact from fiction, myth from legend. But I will now reveal to you the true reason for why these covers exist. The pickup cover does this, and the bridge cover does this. And now, after unearthing this information, this will forever be my garden party bass. I win. Pavarotti. There's one thing I've never been able to do on the bass, and it really pinos my Palladino. Now, I consider myself a fairly good bass player. I can do a bit of this. I can do a bit of that. I can do a bit of t'other, although I don't like to. But I can't do double thumbing. I tried Googling double thumbing, but I saw something on Urban Dictionary that I really didn't want to know. So I thought I'd try watching Talking Bass to see if that could help. Hiya, it's Mark here from Talking Bass. Bloody hell, Mark. Anyway, here's how it should be done. And here's what happens when I try it. That song was the theme from the movie The Man with the Golden Arm.
Are you ready, Monsieur Bond?
Ready?
Well, I thought that was funny. Did you lot even understand that reference? Or am I just entertaining myself here? I wonder what corridos tumbados actually translates to. Javier Hernandez. Yeah, Chaz and Dave as in... Oi! I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not quite sure. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I'm going with this. We've all heard the story of Jacko removing the frets of his jazz bass, but someone else removed the frets of their jazz bass, and is arguably an even better bass player. If you're on crystal meth. Kronos from Venom couldn't decide between a fretted or fretless bass. We've also now trademarked the slogan. So if I really wanted to, does that mean I could stop Bishop England High School from selling their hoodies? I've always wanted to send one of them cease and desist letters. Or I could just turn up on the doorstep and be like, Sir Chan! Cease and desist! Hey, yeah! Denmark's most famous musicians include comedian Victor Borg, Rancid frontman Lars Frederiksen, and Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich. You lot have been sending me some weird clips this week. Bloody hell. Or you could just buy a capo. Well, that's going to haunt my dreams tonight, so thanks for that. And this is going to haunt yours.
I don't know why people spend so much time on bass lines when you can just play the root note.
Well, I also got sent a bass solo that I was very impressed by, and you've probably never heard it. And to really get a sense of the size of this thing, just look at it next to a regular double bass. British viewers of this clip might recognise Coronation Street's Ken Barlow.
Get out!
Don't disrespect the bass! Now, I love a load of music from the 1960s, but you know those songs that are just so happy that they become aggressively happy? I like it, like when it's so upbeat that it borders on creepy. You were made for me, receive my happiness. You say that you love me, say you love me! I don't know what's going on with this mohawk today. It keeps going flaccid. I ain't got me glasses on. That does say hairspray, doesn't it? In this week's news, Madame Tussauds opened its YouTube bass players exhibition, and despite a minor setback at the ribbon cutting, over 16 fans gathered to see their heroes. Davey 504, Charles Bear 2, and Scott's bass lessons. Welcome back to another video of your favourite bass goblin talking about a weird instrument. And in this week's bass news, this dog bought Scott's bass lessons slap course after misreading that you'll get daily tins of spam after signing up. Fans at the Escape the Internet test show say it wasn't quite what they expected. And early footage of Rick James trying to perform without his medicine emerges. Anyway, here it is, the world's smallest washtub bass, and it sounds amazing. Alright, fine. It sounds like a bag of shit. This is the American Danny Sapko. Is there a cherry on top of this blasphemous cake?
Now that's how you play bass.
There are 3 certainties in the life of a bass player. Number 1 is that you'll eventually get bored of that song with all the root notes and try something spectacular. Fromage frais. Fog on, leg on. Alright, I'm excited to bring you this bass battle with Metallica's Rob Trujillo. You start it, Rob. Right, stop scrolling and listen to me, you dipstick. Some of the greatest bass players in the world use a pick, and Nicky Six. It was all going so well for bass Darth Vader. Until... just what you wanted to see when you looked at your phone. A fat little Freddy Krueger yelling in your face. Regular viewers of this channel might have noticed that I'm not very nice to the big boys of YouTube bass. Scott's Bass Lessons.
Steinberger. Steinberger.
Davey 504.
Danny Sapko. I will revoke your bass license.
Cornetto. But in reality, I think these guys are all great bassists and great YouTubers, and I'm just a strategically shaved rodent with a catapult. And there's someone else I should mention. So this is Charles Bertu, and he might just be the most impressive bass player you've ever seen. His videos are an endless stream of inventive ways to break the boundaries of the bass guitar. So, Charles Bertu. I got something to say. I got another confession to make. I think you're bloody fantastic, alright? And I'm sorry for calling you a posh ginger ponce. Actually, I don't know if I did say that, but I was thinking it. My world gets stopped when I saw your eyes on me. HYP, I'm hypnotized. HYP, I'm hypnotized. Here's my top 8 most expensive bass guitars. I'm borrowing most of them. I'm not rich. I've been told that this is my worst video ever. It's a waste of my time, a waste of your time. People outside the UK wouldn't get it. Yeah, well, I'm posting it anyway. This guy's been desperately asking for a video of sweep picking on bass. So here it is, just for you. What? That's funny. There's so much depth to that joke. He works on so many levels. It's you lot that's the problem, not me. You obviously don't have the same comedic intelligence. Or just off and watch Davey 504 then. Or this a pick on the bass, it is illegal. Carbonara. Danny, stop talking crap for once and give us your funkiest funk bass line. Alright, just for once. So I had time for a healthy lunch, attempted a cinematic shot but nearly fell down the stairs, and watched a video from the BEHS Buzz YouTube channel.
Why did Jamerson's tone sound so rich and smooth, but mine sounded harsh and thin?
Cause you're playing a jazz bass, you knob! Before sitting down to reflect on this journey we call life, and as another glorious Yorkshire summer comes to an end, I'm exactly where I wanna be, doing something dodgy by a heritage railway line. Actually, this is what I do every week, only this time I'm filming it. And then the time came. Bloody hell. Felt the wind up me knackers then. And it was time to see if it worked. It worked. Don't believe it. Just another day, you know. I stumbled in at 1 AM, far too merry to video myself playing with the coin as intended. Jimmy. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but I myself look like a strategically shaved duck-billed platypus. And people in glass houses shouldn't throw orgies. And can I just say, what a tone he's got. The clarity in the top end. And the way he's scooped the chin. The mids. Scoop the mids. Damn it. Millhouse Ramon. People like that will never understand what our instruments mean to us. Treat those cases like they contain Brian May's homemade guitar, Paul McCartney's Hofner bass, or Paul Stanley's backing track, especially on their biggest hit, containing the world's coolest bass line. Performed live, loud and in glorious Technicolor by the world's uncoolest dipstick. Halloween has come early this year. Just wait till you see this. So I came across this random clip of two musicians doing this very impressive stunt. And someone commented saying, I want this tattooed but the men replaced with toads, which to everyone else would be a fairly amusing comment, but it's proper freaked me out. Because I have that tattoo. So I'm sure some of you have guessed where I'm going with this. And no, I'm not going to wear the nappy. Day 27 of asking Danny to wear the nappy. I'm not going to wear the nappy. Actually, this is quite comfy. Hold on one sec. It works too. At least you lot have calmed down with asking me to oil up and do nude calendars recently. All my life I've struggled with the hardships of being an attractive guy, you know. David Ellefson, is he allowed on here? No way.
What's up? It's David.
$299 the greedy git. Anyway, you can now book me on Cameo for very cheap to deliver a heartwarming message. Right, shut up and listen to me, you dipstick. Even these days, singing bass players are a bit of a rarity. Probably because it's not easy to do. But you don't have to try anything too ridiculous to get used to it. I don't know the science behind this, but something about this simple exercise helped my tiny brain to separate my hands and my voice. I'd sit on the sofa playing bass and reading the subtitles on the TV at the same time. Anyway, let's see if I can still do this. Let's see what bass he's using. Rickenbacker. That always happens. Today I'm abandoning any form of quality content to answer the question on everyone's lips. Am I faking my accent? But first, oh, won't you please hit that subscribe button? Since only 15% of you have, some of you might be wondering why I don't sing in my accent. It's because Yorkshire vowels are a bit abrasive for a lot of singing. It would have been like, oh, won't you please hit that subscribe button, you prick. Some of you might be wondering why I'm wearing a punk womble as a fashion accessory. It's because this t-shirt contains a big gorilla But you all want to know about my speaking voice. Here's how I talk on camera. Hold your bloody group together with rotor sound strings. And here's my everyday voice. You'll notice that the accent is the same. It's just even more nasally and camp. Hold your group together with rotor sound strings. And finally, I've been getting some stick for mimicking the Italian accent. Yeah, well, I get the provolone pass because I have 2 Italian grandmas. Quattro formaggio. What is it that you people want? First you tell me that I talk too much and don't do enough music. Then I start playing bass and singing me little heart out. And you tell me to stop showing off. But the undisputed dipstick of the week somehow made a link between me and starving pensioners. I like to offer some variety, you know? If you want to watch the same video every week, watch that bloody Charles Berthoud. What's French for déjà vu? It's been a funny old week in general. Vocal coach Ken Tamplin was caught miming. Tears for Fears were criticised for using an AI album cover. And with some of the stuff you've been sending me, I wish these were AI. Just look at this. I bloody hate this lot. Not the Japanese. I mean, bassists with load of strings. Jesus. And what the is this? The new Jimmy Page signature groupie guitar. Buy one and automatically get added to the register. It's a strange world out there. At least the bass pick is back in stock at DannySapko.com. I want you to use every last one of your substance-destroyed brain cells to try and unlock the memory of the first time you heard, noticed, became aware of the bass guitar, the world's greatest instrument. Come with me on a journey as I try to remember anything I did before university. Geezer Butler, John Paul Jones, Jaco Pastorius. Dad, in this song, how come that guitar sounds so cool? That's no guitar, son. That is a bass. Now finish your tetleys. Bloody hell. A bass. But first, in this week's news, disaster for Charles Berthoud. A big night out for Rob Scallon. And Scott's Bass Lessons explains why the spring bass crushes everything. I've never understood why people enjoy smashing up their beloved instruments. It was Jerry Lee Lewis that started this strange tradition. When he wasn't too busy being a nonce, Jerry was known to destroy pianos. Well, let's test it out. Goodbye, Rickenbacker. We've had a good run. Bloody hell! I spent 8 years wondering what the big rich content creators have got that I haven't. Actually, I'm still thinking that now. However, if it's really not meant to be, the man upstairs will always find a way of letting you know when your so-called talents should stay hidden. I also got sent this.
I have to try it on and see what it's like, but I think it'll look really cool on, and I'm loving like the metallic writing. I keep seeing so many tops with this metallic writing on it.
The most impressive thing for me is that she's only 20 years old in this clip, and personally I've not heard about her in a while, but now aged 37, let's see what she's been doing since then. A career she could only have dreamed of when she first started playing at 14 years old. Anyway, right, I know I said I'd give Scott's Bass Lessons a break for a while because he's recovering in hospital from his surgery, but I've had allegations thrown my way after his recent video, and I just want to clear my name. So, as I told the authorities, I was just walking down the road and this sort of strange little goblin fella, he just jumped out of the bushes and he shot me with a slingshot in the shoulder. And then he ran over and he called me a dipstick and he kicked me in the nuts. That could have been anyone. Someone sent me a bucket hat. Bloody hell! Bloody hell! Danny, show off as much as you can in 60 seconds. I'm guessing you mean musically. It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished it well. To see the beard and truly love the better Brazil. And now the Yankees here at the dime from the treble bill. Said I be say to your folks, it goes to show you never can tell. I've seen some weird parodies of me before, right?
How to get Cliff Burton's bass done in 30 seconds.
But I've never seen anything like this video. I don't even know how to describe it, just watch this.
Hey everybody, my bass guitar playing days is over. Thank you, Danny Sapko, for shitting on me. I just took my bass guitar, took it to the pawn shop, I said give me 80 bucks for it, because I met this asshole, Danny Sapko. Give a warm welcome for Danny Sapko, the asshole on the bass guitar. You are the man, son! He's an asshole, look at him!
The basement, the dead flies, the fly spray, the dog. I'm going for a beer.
Cliff Burton, rest in peace, but you better watch out, son.
Whether you call this a capo or a capo, it's most associated with Ponzi singer-songwriters writing Ponzi songs about their Ponzi feelings. Especially because it means I get to play the Rickenbacker. Us bass players have always had that stood at the back looking bored stereotype. Which is the bloody opposite of double bass players. Bass players. Double bass players. Bass players. Double bass players. Bass players. Double bass players. Buongiorno. No! Bon Jovi. I'm sick of hearing all these jokes about bass players having low attention spans and being less intelligent. Just because we have less strings doesn't mean we have less brain cells. Anyway, here's Seven Nation Army. I knew these little ferret paws would come in handy one day. Do you remember the first time you plugged in your bass, turned up the amp, and felt it full in the face? The beginning of a lifelong musical marriage, in the clubs, in the pubs, in your best mate's garage. You are the bass man, or lady of course, ruler of the low-end driving force. Whether you're lacking, or whether you're able, whether you're wacky, or seemingly stable, whether you caressed it, whether you smashed it, you pick, you thumb, you finger blast it. Whether tall and thin, short and fat, standing still, or dancing like a fool. cleanly shaven or covered in fur, as excited as him, as excited as her. Plug in your axe and adopt your best stance, for we are the bassists. We make the people dance. Well, at least it's not that bloody bear too. The stuff he plays, sometimes it's like he's got 4 hands or something. I f***ing knew it, but one stood out more than the rest. Next up, look out kids, it's Bill Wyman. And who the hell's this? It's Ian from Scott's Bass Lessons. No bloody way. Hold on, what's this last one? Well, that's not funny. Oh, just f*** off then. The viewers of this channel send me some bloody weird stuff. I can just imagine it sometimes. Let's send this to the bass guy. It's not the songwriting. If it sounded a bit more like... So many dreams singing out of the blue, we'll let them come true. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever, you dipstick. Yeah, like that. Welcome back to the series where we put questionable bass players under investigation. And today, I've got to dig deep. So this plonker has been putting these capitalized words under all my videos for as long as I can remember. Now, I've never heard of this Ashley Purdy, so let's watch an interview about his signature bass.
It has to feel right. It's sexy. Feel the bass, sex appeal, the feel of it. Yeah, the feel. It's like you have to feel the feeling of it, and it's just sexy, man. You gotta feel it. Sex appeal to the bass. Feel all that kind of stuff. You just feel it, man.
Well, boys, looks like we got ourselves a dipstick. You know me, I've always bloody hated 5-string basses, but just recently I've been getting these feelings, and I hate to admit it, but... I've grown accustomed to the bass. It almost makes the day begin. I was serenely independent and content before we met. Surely I can always be that way again, and yet I've grown accustomed to her look, accustomed to her voice, accustomed to the bass. Ugh, bloody hell. Join the Bass Army with t-shirts, hoodies, hats, picks, badges and stickers, all available at DannySapko.com. Link in the description. Don't be a dipstick. Hey up, Danny couldn't make it today, so especially for Halloween, you've got me, Anticlimax, from pansexual Pennsylvania. Now, I did just want to sing you a song. Fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever! But bloody Danny's asked me to look at the world of fake musicians. Let's see how many you can spot. And these next clips are about as real as my minge. But first, in this week's news, Danny DeVito takes the Charles Bertu bass course. Another setback for Scott's bass lessons. Dave Hill, Don Powell, Jim Lee, and Noddy Holder were collectively known as Slade.
Okay, so when would you ever use that in a song?
Okay, I got that one. I intend to keep poking the bear to until he bites back. Is it just me, or is he like a James Bond villain?
Charles Bertu. I'm the man with the golden strings and golden fringe.
What do we want, 88 or 12? Who's in charge, me or the devil? I think I'm in charge. Come on, you dipstick. Bullseye! Well, I just got back and I wish I never leave now. Where to go? Who'd have mass and arrival at the airport, yeah? Where to go? How many local dollars for a local anesthetic? Where to go? The Johnny on the corner wasn't very sympathetic. Where to go? I went to the place where every white face is an invitation to robbery. I'm sitting here in my safe European home. Don't wanna go back there again. What is it with guitarists, man? They're always using these stupid long words for a start. Some of them are like that long. You watch, I can click on any random guitar video and I bet they're saying something stupid like legato.
Hello mate, ready for a quick guitar lesson? Let's look at legato.
And it's the faces too. Just look at the difference between a guitar face and a bass face. Guitar face. Bass face. I didn't expect Motley Crue fans to be self-centered. Today we're going to test out the urban myth that is the brown note. If you don't know what the brown note is, it's a powerful low frequency that supposedly will make you instantly empty your bowels. And we're going to find out if it's real or if it's a load of crap. I've tuned this Rickenbacker bass down to F sharp and we're running it through the world's most powerful amplifier, the Line 6 Micro Spider. What the bloody hell with it? Steinberger. Oh, damn it. I believe I've shat in my bloomers. So let's see if it's had any effect on me. No, just as I thought, it's had absolutely no effect and it's just an urban myth. So all I've got to do now is turn the bass left-handed and the job's in the bag. It can't be that hard, right? Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. How do you know if a musician studied at Berkeley?
So I did this for like many hours at Berkeley.
They'll bloody tell you.
Plus, when you're at Berkeley,
at every possible opportunity.
Like, what are some of the things that you do to practice that?
Maybe like a few months, a couple of hours a day. Sometimes, the funny thing about Berkeley is...
Dipstick. Anyway, some footage went viral of this year's Berkeley Faculty Jam and the bizarre sounds that came from it. They tried to remove all traces of the video from the internet following the backlash. But don't worry, I found it. What the hell was that? I really didn't want to have to admit this, but Charles Berthoud is not a ponce. He took everything with good humour, and I gained a lot of respect for the guy. Not like that dipstick 504. You had the dog shit under my shoe. Pecorino. Anyway. Bloody hell. Save to thumbnail folder. Watch this clip to uncover the secret ingredient. Come. You can say that I'm a fool, and I don't know very much, but I think they call this love. Yeah! Well, alright, maybe that was a bit much, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna let you in on a little inside joke amongst musicians. And yeah, I found it quite amusing 15 years ago. So this is called The Lick, and after people noticed it features in a lot of music, the Ultra Musos adopted it as their own. Do you know what I mean by Ultra Musos?
Music theory and a little bit of linguistics.
Ugh. There's only one thing worse than seeing The Lick get its intended reaction. And that's seeing someone looking for approval after playing it. And don't get me wrong, I love a bit of humour in music. Anyway, there's this horrible place near me called Leeds, where all the Ultra Musos hang out, but I've come up with a plan to set a few of them straight. Lick that, you knobhead. Some people say they can see the influence of Paul in me, but frankly, I think that's total rubbish. A lot of comments are asking about the long thumb and pinky nails. But surely every musician knows the reason behind that. It is, of course, to help you take coke. But first, in this week's news, disaster for Scott's bass lessons. Davey 504 gets in the festive spirit. Having fun. And fans were left shocked with Charles Berthoud's new merch.
Tap the link below to get half off, and I'll see you there.
Bloody hell, Charlie. You can't teach style like that. You've either got it or you haven't. So, you've rehearsed that big ending 100 times. And you think you've got it nailed. And then when it comes to the performance... I don't do sponsored adverts, and I'm not just proud of it, I'm smug about it. How do you build up trust with viewers if you're telling them to spend their hard-earned cash on something you're being paid to promote? Bloody Fiji water email us every week asking for sponsorship. I don't drink Fiji sodding water, I drink Yorkshire water from the tap. And whoever these lot are, Cockring Earplugs Incorporated. The only earplugs I've ever used are from Scrunched Up Kitchen Roll. I highly recommend that, it really works. And this lot, Glary Guitars, don't like to take no for an answer, and it seems they'll get any old dipstick in as well. What could possibly go wrong if I let Glary Guitars use my face? Do you want to be in my gang? Danny supports the Glary Glitter. You're a more advanced player than I'll ever be, but I reckon I can do a pint of Tetley's quicker than you, so we'll call it a draw.
First on BBC One, Prince Andrew becomes part of Jimmy Savile's dream team.
Jesus. Alright, it's time to search through all the crap you've been sending me all week. First up, hi Danny, didn't know you could play drums. Well, I play a little bit, wouldn't exactly call myself a drummer.
'Cause I know that you'll always be true. And I know that you know that I'll always be right here with you.
Alright, you win this round. Hi Danny, love the vids. Is this your new band? I don't get it. Hi Danny, my new Rickenbacker arrived, but I think it's broken. Let's have a look. Bloody hell! There, I fixed it for you. And last up, Danny, what do you call this picking device?
Ready?
Looks to be some sort of battery-powered tremolo gadget. The problem with Christmas songs is that we always seem to listen to the same ones every year. I like to dig a bit deeper and find some of the more obscure tunes, such as the Beach Boys with their lesser-known track Little Saint Dipstick. It's the Little Saint Dipstick, Dipstick. It's the Little Saint Dipstick, Dipstick. Or of course Danny and the Sapkos with How the F***ing Santa Fit a Rickenbacker Down the Chimney. How the f***ing Santa Fit a Rickenbacker Down the Chimney, the Chimney. Now, the most famous song of all is arguably Slade's Merry Christmas Everybody. But, and this isn't a joke, you might not have heard the original version, which wasn't a Christmas song at all. Here's Noddy singing how it was going to sound.
So won't you buy me a rocking chair to watch the world go by?
And it just makes me think, what if they picked another of their songs to be the big Christmas hit? Come on, feel the Christmas! The Slade lads are getting Christmas! It's that time of year where there's a little bit of magic in the air. Christmas is not so much about opening presents as it is opening our hearts. As we do our best to forget about the forced child labour sweatshops and millions of slaughtered turkeys that make our day so special. And in this week's Christmas news, Charles Bear 2 left furious with Santa. Another mishap for Dipstick 504. And in sports, Christmas Tree 1, Scott Divine's debut drum gig 0. Anyway. So. Bloody hell, Scott. If you're feeling extra generous, you can buy poor Danny a nice festive beer at DannySapko.com for all my hard work making stupid videos all year. In the meantime, I'll get my slippers on and settle down by the fire to a heartwarming Christmas film.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas all!
I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson. Later on Nightline, do you keep a doomed baby alive so its organs can be used to save the lives of others?
It's Christmas! And this is, of course, a pre-recorded message, because I'm currently indulging in lots of food, drink, and board games at this point. So what are you doing watching silly videos, you dipstick? What's this one? Hi, Danny, is this you? What, that weirdo with the hat and the glasses and the bad-tasting jewellery? Don't be ridiculous. So I tried a few jobs to get some wall-based funds. Call centre operator, incontinence helpline, please hold. Radio jingle singer, auto glass repair, auto glass replace. and professional water balloon catcher. Yeah!